Many people consider Gothic to be a classic, and it's one of the, if not the first true 3D action RPG that deserves that title. But does it hold up after more than a decade? The story takes a bit to explain, so I'll go through the premise quickly. Humans versus orcs on the mainland. King Roba needs more indestructible weapons. Indestructible weapons are made of magical ore, of which most is found on the island Corinus. Everyone who committed a crime is sent to the mining colony of Corinus. King doesn't want prisoners to escape, sends mages to create a barrier. Something went horribly wrong, and the barrier became way too large. The prisoners kill the confused guards and take control of the mining colony. The king negotiates with them and sends them everything they need in exchange for the ore. You play this man! Before being thrown into the barrier, Pyrocar gives you a letter for the Magicians of Fire that you're not allowed to open, though you can still do that. You accept the offer, you're thrown in, you are being welcomed, and here you go, play the game. In Gothic, you are a nobody. But you are lucky, women are even harder than you at the beginning, quite literally. Now that you started off, your first main quest is also your longest one. Join one of the 3 camps in the mining colony to deliver a letter. You can choose between the old camp that trades goods with the king and basically rules the colony, the new camp that gathers ore to blow up the barrier, and the sect camp that smokes weed all day and prays to the god to get them out. Heck yeah, I'm done with that shit! Pass me that bomb! Woohoo! Do you have any idea what I had to do to review this game? 6 playthroughs of this game! The old camp has 2 career paths. The new camp has 2 career paths. And the tech camp has 1. But then I also had to take a look at the English version of Gothic because Steam finally allowed me to change the language. 6 times! Gothic is not a game that was intended for multiple quick playthroughs. After chapter 1, with the exception of 3 or 4 side quests, you will always do the same thing during the main quest, and your decision which camp you join will only influence dialogues during the game. Dialogue! And yes, most of the footage you will see will be from the German version of the game. I know, many people will be annoyed seeing words on the screen that they can't understand, but I think you'll be able to relate to me once you've heard the English voice acting.
Yeah? Why's that?
'Cause I'm not here.
Some of it is solid.
You do me a favor and I'll do you one.
It's rarely better.
What are you doing out here?
I'm a hunter. Above all, I hunt scavengers.
But usually it's bad.
He speaks to us in the temple courtyard and reveals the holy words of the sleeper.
Like really, really bad in comparison to the German voice acting.
If you leave through the south gate, that's the collapsed tower. You'll see a plane directly in front of you.
Wenn du aus dem Südtor rausgehst, das ist der umgestürzte Turm, findest du direkt vor dir eine Ebene, auf der Pilze wachsen.
I think if you play it in English, it will take away some of the atmosphere in the game, but judge for yourself.
Hey Mann, ich bin Fisk. Ich handle mit Waren aller Art. Wenn du jemals etwas brauchen solltest, bei mir bist du richtig.
Hey man, I'm Fisk. I trade goods of all kinds. If you ever need anything, you're in the right place here.
At least your main character isn't annoying, but when it comes to sounding threatening, then he leaves something to be desired in comparison to the German version.
Give me the map or I'll take it.
Rück die Karte raus, oder ich poliere dir die Fresse.
But what about the game?
It's a 3D action RPG with no tutorials, without telling you how anything works, clunky controls that feel unresponsive at times, a clunky inventory, barely any mouse support, and with a high difficulty. That's probably what everyone who plays this game will think at first, and yes, they would be right, but if you're ready to take your time to work with the controls and how the game works in general, then playing it isn't much of a problem. Until you have bugs in your combat controls that might lead to your death without it being your fault. You might have already noticed, but this is one of the very few RPGs where your character actually gets different animations if he improves his combat abilities. Something that is missing from most games these days, and it just feels great once you get the hang of it. In addition to that, you can't just enter other people's houses and steal from them or kill them without consequences. This also makes for some fun thievery expeditions. Other than that, you can cast spells, you can level up and spend learning points for various skills like learning how to hunt, gain more strength, learn combat abilities, and much more. So it truly is an RPG with a very addicting leveling up system. You'll have the easiest time as a melee-only warrior, while being a mage is essentially the hard mode, because spells tend not to hit anything once an enemy is too close to you, and you have no reliable way to replenish your mana, while you also have to spend all learning points you gather for your magic abilities. You can use one-handed or two-handed weapons, of which many are found if you simply explore the world, while magic requires you to learn magic circles, which allow you to use spells. After that, you have to buy the rune stone, and you have to make sure that you have enough mana capacity to use the spell to begin with. So not only is it difficult playing as a mage, but you have to spend a lot to afford magic items and potions. Now that we're already here, let's talk about the bad stuff in the game. Like giving you a spell that you must use to progress in the game, but it requires too much mana if a warrior wants to use it, which will force you to backtrack and either spend learning points to get more mana or to buy a ring of magic from Kronos in the new camp, which is very far away from your current location! If that wasn't bad enough, you can't finish the final dungeon in the game unless you have a bow or crossbow with ammunition with you, which fucking goes against anything that you learned during the fucking game! You never necessarily needed ranged weapons at any point before! Okay, you can still backtrack again and try to fight your way through, but seriously, fuck that shit! Just use cheats, and yes, I recommend using cheats for Gothic! If you can't progress anymore due to ladders not working properly, you getting stuck at every single fucking thing! You're dying to whatever the fuck that was glitches! Are you fucking... Bugs, AI issues, although they can find their way back, infinite music loops, enemies appearing out of nowhere, not being able to do anything anymore because you skipped the dialogues too quickly, graphical glitches, your inventory not opening properly, and oh my god, we are still not done! But the thing is, Gothic is still unique, and most importantly, it's a fun game. Most mechanics in this game work nice together, with many of them being well implemented, while many modern games are still trying to catch up. Great atmosphere if you look past the dated graphics, a nice soundtrack, and good side quests, alongside a main quest that progresses quickly after you finish the first chapter. I actually consider the game to be much easier once you've cleared chapter 1. But the entire point of that chapter is showing you what you can become and how weak you are, while the next chapters focus on you becoming stronger and giving you a superb feeling of character progression. Yes, there are bugs. Yes, there are glitches. Yes, the game is clunky and unpolished. But this game also offers you a great experience, and if you want to see a piece of video game history, one of the origin games for the 3D action RPG genre, as well as a rewarding journey, then I can only recommend you to play this game. Gothic is certainly no starting point for people new to gaming, and if you don't like older games or difficult games, then you should stay far away. However, I personally know a lot of people that played Gothic as their first ever game and enjoyed it. But I know just as many people that didn't play it because it was too confusing, too clunky, or too difficult. If you look for basic, good RPG design in form of how different mechanics can work well together to create an engaging world filled with things to explore, or if you look for an older game that can give you a different experience from what you already know, then Gothic is for you. I personally love this game and I would recommend you to check it out. But as a reviewer, I have to be a bit more critical. If you want the better experience, then play the German version. Although the English version has some value as a comedy. Infinite music loops. Not getting a two-handed sword as a Templar, like fuck it! Give me a fucking sword, you stupid swamp weed smoking motherfucker!